This one is about having uncomfortable conversations. Hey, Matt, I appreciated your point about having tough conversations with parents. I try to bring up screen time and visual habits, but sometimes I worry I'll offend or lose the family if I push too hard. Any advice on how to make these conversations constructive instead of confrontational? And I'll open this up to whoever wants to jump in here. I encounter this all the time, personally speaking, with people in my regular everyday life. It can be very uncomfortable bringing up screen time to parents. So who wants in on first on this one?
It should be
I'll
Brianna to
jump
take
in.
that.
So
Yeah.
I always make it conversational first with the kid. So as I'm coming in, I know that I'm going into a myopia exam or just a kid exam, right? So like my trigger points, right? Kid, axial length, and then I calculate where they're going to be at the age of 18. It's a non-negotiable in the practice at this point. And what I start by saying is, let's say Cheryl is in my chair as a kid. I'm like, hi, Miss Cheryl. Let's have a little conversation. How much time are you outside? And I'm looking directly at the kid, right? So now I'm engaged with their care. And they're like they never can answer it. And I'll push again. How much time are you outside? And I let them squirm a little bit. And they're like, oh, maybe like an hour, 2 hours. And I'm like, okay, how much time are we on a device? And that's when they like go bug-eyed. And they're like, I don't want to tell you. Right? I'm like, how much time are we on a device? And they're like, 5 hours, 6 hours. And I just plant a little seed and I say, does that sound like balance? And they know that it doesn't. So I'm not shaming anybody for doing that. I'm bringing attention to it because now they can take ownership. I can't change and I can't move you if you don't take ownership. So I actually learned this from Cheryl's husband. He came to my practice and he was teaching me more of like how to get people interested in their care. So it's something as simple where if you want to sell more lid scrubs because you want the patient with their hygiene or a mask, if you hand it to them and they take it from you, they've now taken ownership. You do take it back, right? Because they haven't bought it and it's not free, right? Because that can also get awkward. We're like, are you giving this to me? They know you're not because you have all your stuff there, but they've now taken ownership that they're going to do it. That's how I've opened up the question. And to answer it like on the back end, seeing many pediatricians, this is in their guideline from their academy. So we're just reiterating the data that's already out there. But I think having that conversation directly with the kid opens it up with the parent.
Yeah. Cheryl, I think there's a lot in our culture about the negativity around screen time, not just for myopia, but also for, for psychologically, for society and culture. Are you seeing a difference in your conversations and how would you respond to the question?
Absolutely. So thank you, Brianna, for telling that story. Tom and I have these conversations all the time. And it is a matter of figuring out the correct verbiage because you don't want to shame the parents for their parenting style. You don't want to drive guilt, but you do want to inform. And I think it's especially important if I'm seeing a patient and they've been stable at different times, but then they'll have times when they're changing more. Sometimes that's due to, we know myopia progresses more in the winter and things like that. But sometimes you will see myopia increase at other landmark times in these child's lives. So for example, first phone, that screen time raises dramatically. Or if they go up a grade level in school and they're having to study a whole lot more and they're doing a lot more near work. So I like to bring that conversation back to the exam room at follow-up visits on a very regular basis to say, maybe your things are changing a little bit more now than they have at other points in time. What's different? Are we doing more screens? Did you get a phone? Are you having to study more? Do you have more homework? Do you have a teacher that's wanting you on your MacBook or your iPad more? And I think it's good to have an open conversation about it. It's good to educate them on what the data says. Ultimately, you're not going to control these people. There are some people who are never going to listen to you no matter what. So you don't want to just like waste your time beating a dead horse, but you need to educate them. And then I think it's important too to support the parent, because a lot of these parents are actually trying so hard because they know it's bad. The pediatrician's been telling them, social media has been telling them, they know they're not supposed to be doing this. So I think, if you have a child sitting there and you have the parent sitting there, and if you tell the kid, mom's not being a bad guy when she tells you to get off your phone. She's doing what I'm telling her to do. So you have to please listen to your mother. When she says screens are done, screens are done. So being that support system for the parents, because a lot of them really do want their child to not be on screen so much. And who do children listen to? Never their parents. Like, children will listen to everybody else before they'll listen to their parents. So being like a good, strong backup for the parents, I think, is super duper important.
Yeah.
Make me the bad guy. I like that.
Yeah, that's a great point. Carrie, I imagine, I've sat in on some of the uncomfortable, tough conversations you've had, and you've spoken directly to what Cheryl just mentioned about,
Yes.
Being that source of information, that you're the authority on this. Can you speak to that?
This is a minefield, colleagues. This is like you're going to step on a bomb and detonate it, And the true victim in this are the parents, really. The mom, the dad are the true victims. It's out of control. And they don't have any say in it. I mean, they're just watching this collision, this train wreck that's happening before them. So, what do you do about it? How do you address that? And I think, first of all, you had to come to my colleagues have been talking about the awareness that this is something that you're not going to, you're going to be able to modify behavior, but you're not going to be able to totally change it. And so we go in, I teach them harm and distance. If I can get them beyond the harm and distance when they look at near point viewing, you get them from cell phones to laptop to iPads, and from iPads to computers, from computers to TV if necessary. Increase the viewing distances to reduce the stress. So you just kind of work within the system because that it's just the other thing you haven't talked about is sometimes we'll even have our parents, if they can, just take the cell phone away from their kids.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're starting to do in the schools. And so when they go to bed, there's no cell phone there, because if it turns out, when do they actually go to sleep, right? You guys,
Right.
You know what I'm saying? How many hours of sleep do they actually get a night? I mean, we as optometrists are in this role. I mean, I applaud all this, what's going on now, because it really brings us back to vision, doesn't it, again? And no matter what else we talk about, we're vision specialists, and we're going to be guiding these patients and how the visual hygiene, how that's supposed to be, and what it really means. And unfortunately for us, it's catch up time, because the dental industry has done this for decades, and we haven't gotten going on that at all. So we need to catch up in that category, in that area.
If you're interested in getting the rest of the episode, consider becoming a paid supporter of the Myopia Mindset. In addition to an extended version of this episode and every other episode that we do, you'll also get access to exclusive monthly bonus episodes of the Myopia Mindset. And I know you're interested. You've made it this far. You can do so on our Substack, myopiamindset.substack.com. I'll see you at the next one.